I always get asked what are the differences between the education systems in Bangladesh and in Canada. So today I will walk you through from kindergarten all the way to university. What are the differences and what are the similarities? So let's get started. Number one, both countries, Bangladesh and Canada, has government and private education systems. In Canada, the majority of all education, kindergarten, middle school, high school, university, college, are mostly government. You have very few private institutions. I'll cover them later on in another video. Second is different qualifications and different stages. We have the major differences here because in Bangladesh we have the grade 10 qualification exams like SSC, right? And then we have grade 12 class 12 exams such as your HSC. There's also in grade 10 in the English medium schools, you may know there is something called O level. Then in English medium schools in grade 12 there is also the A level. So grade 10 and grade 12, class 10 and class 12 back in Bangladesh has these major exams. We don't have it in Canada here. In Canada, grade 10, grade 12 do not have any major exams. Instead, you have the regular set of courses where lots of assignments, lots of midterms, and a final exam with a less percent component can be maximum 30% or less. That consists of your grade portfolio that you use to apply for universities after grade 12. So Bangladesh, you would apply to your top program. Say you're applying to Dhaka Medical College or you're applying to BUET, engineering, depending on how well you did in the HSC exam, correct? GPA 5, great. Those state exams, great. Same, SSC, get a top mark in SSC, you go to the best college. Over here, when you're applying to the universities, you're applying to the top programs, top universities, there is no standardized state exam. Instead, in Canada, the universities and colleges, both after grade 12, they look at your top 6 grade 12 marks. So you're applying to engineering at the top Canadian engineering universities, or you're applying to medicine. Interestingly, medicine you can only apply after your undergrad degree. There is no MBBS in Canada, so you cannot study medicine right after grade 12. I will cover that in another video. Your grades in your top 6 courses matter. Bachelor of Arts, they'll look at your top 6 courses in grade 12. Bachelor of Science, same thing, top 6 courses in grade 12. Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Applied Science, any degree program will look at your top 6 high school courses. That is a huge difference because that changes how you study. You cannot study 1 month for the big government test. Instead, you have to study throughout the entire semester. So for students who come from Bangladesh, for young people, when parents move to Canada, it's difficult sometimes to get adjusted because, let's face it, I have, seen many instances where students in Bangladesh, very dedicated, very academic, they change their study strategies to achieve the highest mark because the final exam is of such high percent, right? But because in Canada, in high school and the other middle school and before middle school, throughout your kindergarten through grade 12 education here, you do not have big final exams. There is no big state exam. It is consistent performances in your regular. Oh, that's a bus over there. Anyways, consistent performance in all your top 6 courses in your grade 12 years, that's what matters. So we have looked at grade 9 to grade 12. We understand there is no SSC, no HSC. We understand that top 6 courses in university, top 6 courses in your final grade 12 year are used for university entrance. So what about colleges? Because in Bangladesh, you have college is grade 10 and college is grade 11 and the grade 12, class 11 to class 12, right? And where are the colleges here then? This is very interesting because in Canada, colleges are actually also after grade 12. And colleges are similar to universities, except the education you will receive in college is focused on applied training, such as you want to learn how to fly an airplane. You want to learn how to do web development, web design, web programming. It could be any practical area. Imagine building these houses over here. To build all those houses, you need to know how to build with bricks, you need to know how to build roofs, you need to know how to do plumbing, you know, electrical work. Those type of training universities do not offer. That kind of diploma in an applied area you're going to receive from colleges, which also looks at your top grade 12 course. And college programs in Canada are excellent. They are excellent just like the universities because both have programs that enable you to achieve the dream job you want. And in the next video, I will cover the job market. I'll cover how to get the dream job you want in Canada if you are planning to move to Canada, or if you have your children in Canada and you're thinking, to place them into programs that will, result in great jobs. So look up for my other videos that I'll be posting soon in my channel. So we understand grade 9 through grade 12. Now let us go back, because you might be having your children studying at another level. So what are the other levels? We have middle school. Middle school is until grade 8. And oftentimes, if your child has been through middle school, you want to consider one critical decision now. So listen carefully. In Bangladesh, we have university schools, elite, top-notch, laboratory schools, university schools. The government's run, very competitive. They train you for the best. Think about Rajshahi University School. Think about the University School by Buet. Many university schools you may know about in Bangladesh. So similarly in Canada, if your child is in middle school, if you're planning to put your child in after middle school into high school, which is grade 9 through grade 12 education, you should consider putting them in elite school like that. Again, it's government, and here you have to take notes. You have the AP program, which stands for Advanced Placement, and you have the IB program, stands for International Baccalaureate. These are two programs that some high schools run. Usually, you'll find a lot of high schools in any province in Canada that will have these two programs. These two programs are similar to our university schools in Bangladesh. Top-notch, rigorous, very academically intensive, prepares you for the best universities, the best programs. You know, you know it. So that's a decision you must consider. Next, we have before middle school. Before middle school, we have grade 1 through grade 6. And during grade 1 to grade 6 in Canada, you will find the education system to be very slow, for lack of a better word. By slow, what I mean is, in grade 1 to grade 6 in Bangladesh, children are learning much more. I myself attended grade 1 through grade 8 in Bangladesh. I studied in Green Herald International School, St. Francis Xavier's Green Herald in Mohammadpur, Dhaka. So I know myself. When I was in grade 6, when I was in grade 5, boy, we had advanced algebra, we had a lot of advanced courses. But in grade 1 through grade 6 in Canada, the courses are very relaxed. They are more focused on, and this is the plus side, they're focused on making the student aware of who he or she is. As a result, what oftentimes happens is students who have been through grade 1 to grade 6 in Canada do not have any issue further because they know they're used to the learning process. However, if, like me, when I moved to Canada in 2007 and I got into the high school system, I was fine. But I have friends who joined in pre-middle school, in grade 6 or grade 4. I have family relatives whose children joined in Canada to study, and those children always used to have some complaint. Okay, I find it too slow. I find everything is so colorful and fun. Where is the stress? Where is the speed, the need for speed? Where is the acceleration that I always had in Bangladesh? So that is something you must also consider, how to compensate for once your child is in Canada in pre-middle school. That transition period, you have to be with your child. And how to do the best during the transition period is by the following. Number 1, sports. In Bangladesh, sports we have, but the sports is not as big as it is in Canada. Be it swimming, football, badminton, name it, wrestling, karate. Every sport is highly valued in Canada. So when your child is transitioning, if your child is moving from Bangladesh to Canada in the education system, you must compensate for that lack of speed that they might feel by giving them sports opportunities. Because what will happen is when your child is doing a lot of sports professionally in a school, it opens up room for scholarships, a lot of sports scholarships, which do not exist in Bangladesh. And what happens is the way the sports work here, the leadership the capabilities that your child develops, my God, those qualities the child use to do the self-learning, self-paced learning, to have that learning on my own if I feel it's slow for me. So that's for sure. Pre-middle school enrollment of your child in Canada, you should compensate for that lack of speed that they might experience through sports. And second, of course, giving them extra support through private tutoring. I myself did a lot of private tutoring for families whose children were having a hard time adjusting before middle school. And in the private tutoring, fundamentals like math, English, science, they should be kept at a speed. Next, we look at kindergarten. Kindergarten in Canada is far better than in Bangladesh, absolutely. Because I used to cry when I was in kindergarten, when I was in Bangladesh, because my teachers used to force me to do a lot of work that I never understood. But you'll find in Canada, kindergarten for your children, my God, it is so developed and it is so empowering for the child. You become, a well-rooted, well-established child, and you develop into a very balanced personality when you grow older. So, kindergarten, amazing. Next, let's talk about university and college in Canada. The university system is very similar to Bangladesh. You have 4 years bachelor's degrees, but we have a major difference. When I speak to my friends in Bangladesh in university, they have a lot of teacher and student closeness, which in Canada there is an issue, because what happens is all the Canadian universities are public, and because of funding restrictions, you have large class sizes. You have sometimes, for example, first year classes in certain big top ranking universities in Canada, you'll have class sizes like 500 students, 1,000 students, one professor. So there is that factor of not having that close level of interaction. But that's not even a big issue, to be honest, because when I went into my senior years, grade, you go through from your undergrad year 1, year 2, the class sizes become smaller. Like my last class size was just 25 people. So it's not that big of an issue. The only issue in the Canadian universities is the first year. You have very large class sizes. You will have this lack of bonding, lack of feeling that you belong with the professor. And many young generation, many immigrant families, they do have children who face problems during the first year of university, because they have seen in Bangladesh how we are so close-knit. Teachers at the university level are so close. They invite you to your house. Sometimes you play sports together. You are so candid and frank with each other. But in Canada, the way the culture is designed for professors is they maintain, and you're supposed to maintain a sense of professional distance with them. As a result, it does have an effect on first year for new university students. And as they go up further in your university education, the courses get much harder, and you do get smaller class sizes, but that fact that you have a sense of distance with your professor stays. Like, I could never visit my professor's house or, have close relationships with my teachers. So that's the only issue that I personally have seen in the university system. I will upload lots of videos about lots of interesting topics about living in Canada, being successful in Canada. So stay tuned, and if you subscribe, you will see an update every time I upload a new video. Take care. Have a great day.